Hello, everyone, and welcome. While we have just a few more minutes while everyone is joining, let's just warm up a little bit, right? It's always a good idea. So today, hey, hi. Just a question for those who is joining us right now. What is the most exciting, the coolest movie that you watched recently? Like Max, what about you? Like, have you seen
I
something?
just trying to recall some of them, and it was something old. Like last 6 months, it was everything about 90s usually. So I trying to recall one of those movies. I think that it was Rambo,
Rambo.
1982.
Wow. Oh
So
my God.
yeah, it was like
Okay.
old
Old school.
school thing. Yeah.
My recent one was Dune, second part. Like, I won't be spoiling, like, for those who haven't watched it yet. But, like, it was perfect in terms of the picture itself. And, well, probably the plot is also exciting, but, like, not mostly matching with the book, but still. But I was so frustrated that there will be a third part of this trilogy. So this is actually a trilogy, and the second movie is always like a transition plot from the first one to the third one, and it was like, oh really? So I need to wait more till the actual ending of the story. So it was.
It reminded me of the Lord of the Rings. So I'm happy that I watched it one at a time. I know in 2006 or something, and I was thinking like how it was to waiting for the next movie for a year, and especially like Lord of the Rings. So now finally I could hear this opinion, and I could understand this feeling.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
it's pretty complex.
For those who are just joining us, me and Max are warming up and talking about the most exciting movies that we watched recently. So feel free to leave yours in comments. Just super exciting. Will give us ideas for weekend nights, like what to watch and what to discuss
Watch
afterwards.
next, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so it's let's see. I think we can start with our presentation because today's webinar is actually sort of like a masterclass. It's super packed with the AI use case, and today we're going to talk about those actually 18 proven Gen AI use cases that we tried at Reply and that resulted in amazing things for us, like saved us tons of hours or improved the quality of output information that we required. So let's don't wait anymore. Max, do you want to talk why we are actually sharing all these ideas?
Sure. It's totally about practical side of the AI because we already saved those about 80 hours per month. And we also integrated AI into our product in Reply.io. So that's why we collected it in this presentation, both sides of our AI first approach. And that's why we're sharing.
And today specifically, today's cases are picked up for sales and marketing, actually the key functions of the business. So stay with us and we're gonna cover them in a few minutes. But before we jump into those cases, let me introduce Max, head of product marketing and lead generation at Reply, and today's presenting with me on this webinar. And like really great fact about Max is that he is AI ambassador here at Reply. So actually, I think he's the first person that started to use Reply heavily here, implemented it in every process that we have, not only just in marketing, but helping other departments to switch to Reply and implement it there.
Sure. So on my side, thank you, Olivia. About Olivia, she's CMO of Reply, and what's important when we are going to talk about the the reply AI functions. That's she was with the reply for 8 years from startup to scale up. So it's definitely worth to hear this part about our integration of AI to reply.
Well, actually, yeah, that's a good point, Max, because as a company, we started to integrate AI. Well, I think our first email scoring tool, it was developed, I think it was 2016 or 17. So it actually was the early age of AI technology, and it actually worked out, and it just was a very good case and support for our users. So today's workshop agenda, like just a sneak peek of how we became AI first and why it is important. Then we'll jump to 18 times saving AI use cases, and we hope that you guys will benefit from them and just use them after the webinar. And basically, I think, Max, you will prepare this talk with all the prompts for these 18 use cases, right? And we'll share it afterwards. Okay.
I prepared basic recommendation about good prompt and what really helped us to implement those improvements with AI. So yeah, that's fourth step.
Okay, yeah, so additional resources and Q&A. Well, actually, feel free to ask your questions during this webinar. We'll pick them up and respond. It will be a pleasure. So yeah, go ahead. And Max, would you like to jump in here?
Yeah, that's a problem. I should highlight that also we're implementing AI in other companies, and for my friends, my colleagues, our business partners. So I want to highlight, like typical problems, typical blockers of AI implementation. The first one, it's the tendency to rely on traditional methods. The second one, it's the expectation that AI would cover any task on 100%, and as a wrong expectation, then you could fall with disappointment. Also, the third one, it's a habit of doing everything manually, and it's typical for really experienced experts. Like, I don't want to try some prompts. I just want to do it as I did it before, and it's typical for all of us, lack of time and motivation to explore new AI tools.
Yeah, like a good example here could be just ask yourself, how often do you prefer searching for an information on Google versus ChatGPT? Like, are you still referring in Google, or you are trying to adopt ChatGPT even for search? So this will just give you a clue where you are right now on this curve of innovation implementation for yourself and your company. Yeah, so not waiting more, just let's jump to the cases. And the first block of AI use case examples is about the ads. Max, would you like to proceed here?
Yeah, it's my favorite one, because we share this case with CXL, so it's really cool because it helped us to save like up to 60% of our budget. So how does it work? The first thing we did, we wrote down main features, main messages we want to share via ads. The second thing, I add one visual metaphor for each message. For example, if we're talking about Reply as a cutting edge platform, or Reply, it's everything you need for instant growth. For this message, I added metaphor of Alice from Wonderland, because it's okay. It's directly connected. Then I use the message, add this metaphor, and ask GPT to generate 10 more ideas of metaphors of instant growth, but it should use books, series, movies. Then in the end of this process, I get like 10 metaphors for each main message. So the next step, I ask GPT to create technical task for designer for each metaphor I get. So I get like about 40 technical tasks for 40 banners ideas. Then it helped us to test as many hypotheses as possible. So as a result, we get this 60% decrease of the price of our demo.
That's amazing, really.
And you could show the next slide with the next slide with
Okay.
yeah. We use typical metrics. So we use messages, then ideas, generate more ideas, and then ask GPT to generate the detailed technical test for design. So the next thing, it's totally on your side how you are going to test it in which platform and in which platform with what budget are you going to do it.
Okay, let's jump into generating ads copy.
Yeah, ads copy, it's the next thing we're trying to improve. And of course, you have seen that you could find some specific GPTs, custom GPTs in ChatGPT about Google Ads. But in our case, we're sure about what technique we use. So it was like, we call it like multi-criteria approach. So we fed GPT with our main features, then with ads copy of our competitors. Also, we add our main goals for these ads, and also we describe our ICP. And the next step, the last step, we asked GPT to generate unique and ads copy which could help us, like to be straight to the point in the ads. And also it helped us finally to save. Well, it's not in this time, it wasn't like 60%, but it helped us to significantly improve our search ads and its performance.
Well, again, it's very helpful in terms of testing, right? Because you have like 40, like as many as you need variants of ads copy, and you can test them at a time, which is, first launch.
And it's what's important and what's modern. That's it's a great chance, like to write such copy which would be different in comparison with your competitors' copy. And sometimes, like we're living in this marketing bubble, so for us it's pretty hard to separate our ideas from competitors' ideas. But in the case with GPT, it was great to, like to show copies of our competitors and ask it rewrite our copies to make them different.
Yeah, sounds great. And okay, and basically this is the example. So I think
the last step contains the specific request for ads lengths, for format, and then I asked GPT. In this case, it was the second test in Gemini Advanced. I asked it to pack into the table. So it's great. One of small techniques is to asking any generative AI to pack it in specific format, which would be convenient for you. In case with Gemini Advanced, you could ask it to provide it in a Google spreadsheet format, what is really convenient, I think. Yeah.
Cool. Love it.
Ads report inside. It's not really efficient for one channel, but when we run ads on many channels and we are trying to understand ROI for each of them, we're trying to compare those channels. It was hard because, like we're human, we're not perfect, but we got great insights when we fed the whole report from our BI system to GPT, and it was the simple request. We asked to provide some insights which could help us to improve the ads, these ads, and generate our approach in the future. And it was insightful because GPT highlighted channels where we could improve, for example, CPC, and it could it would dramatically change the result of specific channels. So yeah, if you have any data, try to fed it to GPT and to talk about it. It could be really insightful. Yeah.
Well, I do agree here. And I really enjoy the idea that actually, well, any generative AI is a vast database of information, super relevant, and not just information, but expertise as well, because it was taught on, all those, like including all those expert articles and researches and stuff like that. And when you ask generative AI to, well, act as an expert in paid acquisition, or act as an expert in market research, you will receive the best in class, like really high standard approach to what you actually need and what you're doing. So let's get to product and analytics block. And here we have also several cases. And the first, but actually fourth in a row here, is CASDEV questionnaires. So the point, again, if you ask generative AI to address your task as an expert in a specific field, it can be any field. It just depends on your industry. It has all the knowledge and expertise just to help you get the outcome, like as if an expert would do this. So for this specific case, there was a task to create a questionnaire for a specific customer development interview, and it wasn't just like for this case, it was Max. I think it was some military production, like somewhere or something.
Yeah. It's some equipment, like general equipment formula. Yeah.
So in this specific case, we asked ChatGPT to act as an expert in this military equipment production, or like in this prompt, it's like interview questions for tennis gear customers. So it can be, well, you can ask GPT acts as an expert in any field you want, and from there, ask to create the best, like the best questions that you would probably want to ask on the interview.
And in this case, we just use one more example, which could, like highlight for you that when you could provide specific requests with your niche, your target of this CASDEV, your the time slot you want to fill with this questionnaire, GPT or any GenAI could provide you specific amount of questions for specific period of time for specific goals. For example, to improve your e-commerce performance. And the single thing you should do by yourself is to to double check all those questions, and then you could start your CASDEV. And the next step is to work with insights you're going to collect.
Thank you, Max. In the next case, again for market research, is about how to actually speed up the process of competitor research. Well, because for those who was dealing at least once with this type of research, it just takes a lot of time. But actually, a lot of information is scattered all over the internet. So the point is that with AI, with generative AI, you can make a task to analyze competitors based on specific parameters. And I think, I have this prompt here. This prompt was used with Claude AI, but I think you can try it with any other generative AI tool. So I needed to analyze the conversational marketing tools and conversational AI tools. And I was asking about the specific columns for the information. Like actually, I wanted Claude AI to create a table for me with competitors in the first column, and other columns would be for geography, customer needs, competitors' target audiences, competitor size, competitor differentiation on the market. Is a competitor a leader, follower, or niche on the market? Pricing strategy, key product features, main channels of customer acquisition, what users liked best about this particular software products, what users disliked, problems users said the software was solving for them. And the point is that I was submitting the links, like just putting the links of different market researches, G2, and everything that I thought was relevant. So I actually had a list of links and PDFs, like I was making screenshots of specific web pages because sometimes generative AI cannot read web pages. So I was making PDFs and put them in this dialog window. So I just want to quickly share. I think I will be able to do this. So Claude AI, this is this specific chat that I had with Claude AI, and as a result, I received this huge list of competitors that I wanted to analyze. And I basically asked about specific list of competitors as well, and all the columns I needed. And another important thing is that you can, and you should ask generative AI to put only valid information. So in case there is no data, generative AI should put no data. And like you need to ask about that because, well, so far it's not obvious for generative AI systems. And with this approach, with this research, I saved like really big amount of time when we were analyzing this this industry. Analyzing inconsistent data. Like the problem here is that reports contain a mix of, like, we faced a problem where our reports, specifically sales reports, were like there was a lot of inconsistent data on job titles, with non-standard naming conventions, and making it was really hard to analyze this information. So with AI, we were able to clean and categorize job titles to unify them. And based on that, we were able to segment the audience, actually leads and customers, and see what are the roles who actually attend our sales meetings. Without standardizing those job titles, we won't be able to say that, hey, do you know that 30% of our leads actually are founders and CEOs of a business? So it's just, again, working with data, using AI for data standardization is really a big deal. And we highly recommend everyone to try it out. Max, would you like to add something here?
Yeah, just one comment. It's for sure the best way to analyze spreadsheets. It's some pivot tables, maybe some Looker Studios, etc. But when we're talking about processing inconsistent data or trying to get some insights using already generated report, so generative AI's tools really could help with it. So remember, that's for sure the old school methods still work, like pivot tables. But when you want to work with something inconsistent, like titles, because even CEO could be chief executive officer, could be chief executive or president or founder. So with such data, so GenAI could really help and save. In our case, you could notice that we have 849 titles, so it could take a lot of time to analyze them manually.
I can hardly imagine, actually. It's just it just sounds crazy. So the next block is for content. Max, mic to you.
It's my second favorite one after the ads metrics. I got dialogue chat with our sales team, and they provide a couple hypotheses about really narrow niche audience. And it was so niche and it was so small, but it was so interesting for us. I mean, according to the budgets of this audience, it was so small that it was impossible to analyze it with some marketers, SEO analytics tools. So it was impossible to track the search volume for this audience. So we decided to test it by ourselves. Which way? We prepared the typical plan of a potential article. Then we customize this plan with GPT, using the pain points of this audience. And the next step, we ask GPT to write the whole article using the plan we created on previous two steps. What could I say? I mean, what the result we get? We get like 100 unique users per month, but the ROI of this article, which was created like in 30 minutes, is it's hard to measure because this audience, they buy our product annually, they buy it for many seats. So yeah, it's that's a method which could help you to validate, to test ideas when it's impossible to measure the potential of the audience of this test. So yeah.
Two things I want to add here. So in our case, Max pointed to that. This audience, like the assumption was that the paycheck will be much higher for this specific audience than for the rest of the audiences. And definitely it was an assumption that, hey, if we create this article, there will be conversions to, trials and demos. And with that, we're going to test this idea with the audience, just to my point here. And a second thing, that just be aware that with pre-Google updates, AI generated text, like, without any proofreads or any extra edits on top of the generated content, it like won't work
Humanizing
out anymore.
Process.
Yeah, like it unfortunately, like just make sure that those texts that are AI generated on your website will allocate time to rewrite them, because so far Google announced that the ranking for those pages and those texts will become lower. So make sure to allocate time and change it if you have on the website. Next one, Max.
Yeah. So the task was to create ultimate listing article in a specific and affiliate niche. And what we did, we collected in one Google document all top 10 articles from Google. Then we fed it to GPT and asked it to analyze those 10 or more articles and delete the duplicates of some affiliate programs. So in the end, we get structure of article about like ultimate listing of any B2B affiliate programs. So this time we save a lot of in this method we save a lot of time because otherwise we should do it manually. We should compare each article one to another and trying to find out the duplicates and delete it also manually. So yeah, it's basic, but it worked. Landing page generation, and it's pretty interesting. Let's imagine that you have 10, 20, 30 niches, specific niches, who which are buying your product, your specific product. So all of them, in our case, all of them looking for cold outreach, for example. But sometimes they're adding cold outreach for, I don't know, for recruiters. So how we decided to test, we created 8 pages long prompt, which contains a lot of data. And the goal of this prompt is to create JSON file with customized URL, H1, title, description, top 3 features based on pain point of a specific niche for 20, 30, 40 landing pages at once. So when this JSON file is generated, our website developer just took it and used it to fill those first screens on those 20, 30, 40 landing pages. So for sure, it's not enough to, to cover some audiences, but it's totally fine to test those audiences to understand which landing pages you should improve and which landing pages and niches really really needs your attention and your additional time. Yeah.
My few cents here, ChatGPT was used, like, if I'm not mistaken, 2 times here. The first iteration was for generate actually all this unique information for every specific audience in the niche, like niche audience. And second iteration to create a JSON file. So just think about generative AI tools as your ultimate actually assistant for any task that you want. Well, starting from text generation to coding and stuff like that. Just that's super crazy. This is my favorite case study because it saved us a lot of time on creating those landing pages. And as long as you have one landing page design, it can be automatically filled in with the unique information for each specific audience. And this is insanely helpful. But let's proceed. AI avatars for video.
Yeah, in this case, we use a third-party service. It was Hygiene SaaS about AI avatars, but the benefit is clear. We created AI avatars for the whole team who connected to video production. Every time when we need to create a video about something which could be where AI avatar could be enough. I mean, it's not about, of course, our meeting, for example, where we're here in person. Of course, I could show you my hands. So
right, we're not avatars, right?
Yeah, but for product updates, maybe some support videos, AI avatar is great opportunity to to generate more videos and save time of important team members because they could spend this time for something more strategic. Yeah.
I have an example here. Just I have a page open for Oleg, our founder of Reply, and you can see that all these videos are not just AI generated. Everywhere in these videos is used AI avatar of Oleg, and you see that sometimes those videos get well, pretty much pretty big number of views. I need to say that we don't promote them so far, but sometimes results are really impressive, knowing that Oleg is not spending his time to generate the videos, it's just his AI avatar, which is convenient especially for these short format videos.
Yeah, this short format, it's ultimate for short format videos. AI avatars, the AI generated video scripts, it's almost the same like with articles, but what's really nice, you could use specific tone for your video script. You could also ask GPT or any generative AI to write down the script using specific time limit, like make a friendly intro about this product feature, like 3 minutes length. And it could be really, I mean, the result would take when you are going to record the video with the script, the result could be really about 3 minutes. So it's really good. It's really good in time estimation for such thing like video scripts. So yeah, it's again about time saving.
And the more information about this product features, or the more information about this video you provide to generative AI tools, like who is your audience, what are their pain points, and so on and so forth. Like what value do they see in your product? The more accurate and the more to the point the video will be. I think the next one.
It's my third favorite one case. Why? Because our designer, he was on vacation, and we created this testing hypothesis article for this niche audience. And the single thing which was blocking us from post it on our blog, it was blog cover. And I use it was like it was totally experiment, but it was successful because I used the first image. So I downloaded the image from our blog. I download this image to ChatGPT, and then I asked, describe this image. Then I copy this image description by ChatGPT, fed it to GPT in another chat, and ask it to visualize this description. So then on the second image, you could see this, whoa, yeah, it's pretty similar to the first image. So it's again about crown, it's again about ball for basketball. So it's fine. And next thing, what I did, I just replace words ball and crown with mailbox and heater. So I got unique image for cover for the blog post in a specific style which we use on our blog. And it was about time saving, because just imagine the whole process of writing the article, checking it with editors, then ask designer to create image, then maybe you could exchange with some ideas how to edit it. Then in the last step, maybe in a couple of days, in the end of the week, you could post it. But then you should wait, because the best way to post it maybe on Tuesday. So you're waiting for the weekends. In this case, I spent like 40 minutes for the whole article with the cover. And what was really nice, it worked. Finally, we got a lot of leads from one AI generated smart way, AI generated article. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's see. Just let me pause for a second. And let's see if we have some questions. Okay, nothing so far. So yeah, we'll be sharing the slide deck after the webinar. No worries, guys. And yeah, feel free to ask the questions, because it's like super interesting to cover them during the webinar. Because every case can be unique, or it can be like, edge case. And if we can help during this webinar, it would be really cool. So feel free to post your questions in the chat. But let's proceed with sales blog. So far we've been talking about like marketing, mostly marketing related cases. Well, I would say that research of the audience is more like strategic case, but let's say it's just on the top of marketing and sales. And now we're gonna switch and talk more about sales cases. We don't have them a lot so far, but those that we have, I think would be interesting for you guys. So the first in this blog is for AI for sales emails. Well, for those of you guys who know what we are doing at Reply, we are automating personal and sales outreach at scale via multiple channels. It means that you can create a sequence of personal emails, follow-ups, LinkedIn touch points, calls, tasks, SMS, WhatsApp, you name it. And we're still looking for new channels to add to the sequence. Super excited about that. And what we thought, like I think it was early 2023, so like last year, when we implemented Magic Sequence and Reply. I just want to do a really quick demo just to show you what a real magic can do with automating such a complex task as personal outreach at scale. So this is my account at Reply. I have a few sequences running here, and I'm going to show you how to create this magic sequence with AI. So I'm going to click on from Magic, and here is a really simple interface where I'm going to put, and I have this prompt already prepared. Give me a second. I'm going to put a prompt for JSON AI. So for those of you who was using Reply, you probably know that JSON AI is our intellectual brainer inside the product. And what we have here is a field for the prompt. I'm putting it down. So what I want to ask JSON, act as Reply SDR leads, your goal is to create multi-channel outreach sequence to follow up with the leads after B2B growth summits and suggest schedule a call to showcase Reply.io. Also, it's kind of pretty average task, I would say, like ongoing task for any SDR team or probably sales team. And I'm going to hit this button. It just takes time to generate my email. Okay, so well, let's say I'm fine with that. However, we have this bar on the right side that shows that this scores my email on the probability of receiving a response. So we know that a subject length should be no more than 6 words. Word count, well, it's much more here in terms of the words, so I need to short it just a little bit. It doesn't have questions. Well, that's bad because this is our call to action in personal emails. Positivity, spam word count, so I have something to improve here. Well, I'm gonna probably regenerate this email or just do my manual edits and just improve it manually. But the main magic starts. Okay, something wrong, but no worries. And the main magic starts when I hit next button because GenAI generates the whole sequence for me. Again, some can say that, well, we probably want to have full control of all our messages that are sending. But even for this case, AI-generated emails and actually sequence provide a good ideas on how to do your outreach, well, probably in a more creative way. Because I can ask Jason to make my tone of voice more friendly or neutral, for instance, or make it shorter, make the email shorter or longer and stuff like that. So here I see that I have a really, really multi-channel sequence, including emails, LinkedIn, calls, and I can proceed with the sequence and actually proceed with adding people. So let's say I have my list of prospects. I can import them via CSV file or add from existing. In the next case, I will show you how magic works with our another tool reply data, but that's just bear with us. And let's say I'm going to skip this step. And another cool part of AI for sales is that JSON and actually generative AI in reply can generate the responses on prospect emails. Well, imagine this. I'm adding here the information about reply, like how reply can help, what is reply, what are the benefits of using reply, what are the use cases and stuff like that, like everything that I want my AI to know about my product offering. And using that, JSON AI will be able to respond on prospect emails. Like, again, it won't be like a response that is automatically sent out, but this will be a draft that is saved. And it is, again, you can read it, save or make some changes, and again, save time on those manual stuff. Then I click next, and a few more steps here, like checking my accounts connected here, so I can connect my LinkedIn in case I have those steps in a sequence. Then I need to pick up the schedule for my outreach and launch a sequence. The other case that I want to present right now is even more AI magical, I would say, because I can create a sequence. This is just another type of AI sequence that we are implemented in reply right now, especially we're testing this new product feature that is called sales agent. So you see this form. This form is like value proposition. I mean, for those of you guys who've been working with value proposition form, it just looks the same. It means that you need to put here that who are you helping? So in our case, we help sales teams in our case, it will be in B2B tech businesses to, have it pre-written here, just not to spend your time on my manual typing. Give me just a second. So to book more sales meetings, well, the more detailed you will be, the more accurate the sequence and the messaging will be in the sequence. By automating multi-channel outreach sequences, and I'm reaching out, like the point why I'm reaching out for AI, this is a good, well, it can be an icebreaker or something just to justify why your outreach is relevant at this point. So in our case, let's put here that we have launched Sales AI Assistant at Reply. And I want it to be in a friendly tone. I'm a friendly person. So, and the magic gonna start here. So I'm like putting everything from my head about my audience and my value proposition. And then AI on the next step here is gonna suggest the audience for my sequence. The audience is taken from the other feature reply that is called reply data. It's like a sub-product that we have in our platform that allows, what is happening? Hey, I want you to make magic right now. So it's gonna showcase and suggest the, oh, here we go, suggest the audience that's gonna match my sequence and my value proposition here. And I'm gonna add context here, add context to my sequence. Okay, let's get right now. So the AI suggests the audience, and then gonna have this sequence created for us right now based on the value proposition. And again, the best part here is that you can either leave it as this if you are satisfied with the results, or make some changes, add steps if you need here, like add new steps. So you can, be creative and, let's say, include LinkedIn channel as well, because the sequence can be either email only or LinkedIn only or multi-channel. It's just up to you. It's up to your creativity. And we're gonna actually launch the sequence in the next steps, and it's done. So this is the magic happening in AI fields, in sales AI fields. And I'm going to return to the slides right now. Yeah, so the great part here is that all these routine sales operations, like creating those sequences, can be fully automated and intellectually automated for you. And we have here another cool AI case for sales about AI-generated online openers. Max, I think you can jump in here. Yeah, can you?
Yeah, there's a simple explanation on the next slide. Let's show the place, and I want to explain the whole idea. The main reason when people open your email or they are interested to reply sometimes in something, sometimes it's about not really important things like first line of your email. And many people who doing outreach really struggle with this part. And that's how we decided to solve it. So we created one line opener, the function, which with help of GenAI help you to create the first line of your email and make it personalized for each email recipient in your list. Using specific information like job titles or maybe last news from his or her LinkedIn page. So it depends on which option you would choose. But the main idea that's this line, it feels like personal. It's like it feels like email which was written specifically for you. And like as you could understand, it increase open rate and sometimes reply rate dramatically.
Love it. Let me pause for a second and see. The reverse engineering looks like it's kind of the game changer. Yay! Andrew, thank you so much. I think I can. No, I cannot. Like use just to show this comment. Really, we think the same. Max, I think you will be. Oh, thank you so much. I think we will be covering those techniques at the end of this webinar, right? How to do reverse engineering and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm going to if I want to announce it later, but if you are interested in a specific technique, just connect me on LinkedIn and just knock in my inbox, and I will provide the document with the samples of those prompts. And the
That's
last
amazing.
part, it's general part, but it's last but not least. The first thing, it's when we're talking about application to somewhere, if you are going to apply on some job or you're going to apply for the grant for your business, what could be changed dramatically with AI? You could provide the info about you, your CV, or about your business if we're talking about the grant. Then you're providing the request or job description or the grant program description. And the next step, you ask GPT to analyze for job apply your experience, and then rewrite or write cover letter or rewrite your CV using the job description, job request, your job responsibility for specific vacancy. And the second case, the same you could do with grants, when you could use information about your company, about your achievements, and then GPT could analyze the grant requests, the grant program terms, and then to prepare highly customized cover letter for this program. And as I mentioned before, with the one-line opener, this first touch, in this case, we're talking about cover letter, is crucial and really could be game changer and could impact your chance to get this job or get this grant for your business. Yeah.
Okay,
I
and
guess
this
it's a
is the
sample
prompt itself.
how we use it. Yeah. Where you should just put your links.
Okay, cool.
And next,
workshop planning.
workshop planning is it's short one. Yeah, it's short one. It's helping. It's for the last case I used it. It was a team, the friend of mine, and I decided to help them to conduct some kind of strategical session in the end of the year, and they want specific focus on design thinking. So my request was to GPT how to create the strategic planning session for a couple days using design thinking approach as a core for this event. And the plan which GPT provided me was so comprehensive, so I didn't even edit it. So I use it in this raw format. I got it.
Awesome. Prompt improvement.
Prompt improvement. Yeah, it's about approach I really like. That's sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and when I prepared some prompt, I fed it to GPT in using market specifically, like this is prompt, and ask it, so what should I add, or how could you improve this prompt to get better or more efficient result? And sometimes GPT could offer you some ideas to highlight you some blank areas, which could dramatically change the output of this prompt. So remember, every time you use GenAI, remember this: you don't know what you don't know.
Max, are you asking GenAI to, like, what is your input here? Like, what are you asking GenAI to become, like, to act like what for this specific case?
Without role, I just provide my prompt, and I highlight it with some marks, like to highlight the prompt that is part of the text, and then ask to analyze my prompt and offer me ideas. What should I add, or how could I improve this prompt? And sometimes it's just a dialogue, some random ideas which could help me to understand that, whoa, I really want different result, different output, so I should add or change something in it.
Right, love the idea. Well, basically, if we talk about, well, like retrospectively looking at those sales, marketing, strategic AI use cases that we covered in this workshop webinar, I would say that the more specific information you add about the audience, the product, the competitors, like all this market intelligence, it can really help out generative AI to create a output that you will actually use without any changes. So, I mean, be very specific. Don't be shy to have a dialogue with generative AI. Ask generative AI, hey, well, I like to ask generative AI to act like someone, like the prominent TED Talk speaker or the prominent marketer from, Silicon Valley startup. It just helps you to get this additional point of view on the things you don't even consider. So feel free to have dialogue with generative AI because it's just super insightful. It can be super insightful.
And the last one, the bonus tip. Let's show the next slide with an example. Sometimes you feel blocked with lack of idea. So how could I improve my work with AI? I tried everything and it's not enough. The best way to fix it, you provide GPT your hobbies, your areas of responsibility, your job title, your typical routine, your typical daily tasks, and then you ask to write down the list of all those things and typical actions for each thing you provide, and generate 3, 5, 10 ideas how to improve this task, this area, this action with GenAI. Of course, 80% of ideas would be trash, no, would be useless. But those 30, 20% which you would notice like useful could really change the way you work. In my case, it worked, and when I tried this approach for my teammates, my friends, my colleagues, it worked the same. So I recommend you to start. Maybe this would be the great way how to start implement GenAI into your workflow. And the most interesting thing about the general, maybe, yeah, ideas and approach structure, yeah, of good prompt. And it should be, I mean, we want to explain it as short as possible because we add a comprehensive article by OpenAI and additional materials. But just you could save this image and you could check it every time when you're preparing prompt, because almost any prompt should contain instruction what to do, context of the situation of your situation of what you're talking about, then ideas which role GPT should use, formatting. Talking about, in my case, I mentioned before, I asked it to pack something into the table, and it's really convenient. Tone, which could be helpful because when we want, like to save our time, I asked GPT to be straight to the forward, so as simple as possible. And examples. And talking about examples, there are two approaches. The first one, you just could use the piece of content, piece of text, which could be the one example of result you want to get in the output. But the next approach, and I just get it like a couple days ago, and it's so cool. Sometimes when you want to get specific output, the prompt you should create could be so long. I mean, like you should mention all cases, all edge cases, which could be really complex for you and difficult to provide all those cases in the prompt. But few shots prompting approach, it's about to provide a dozen examples of what you want to get in the output, and then it's much more easier for GPT or any other Gen AI to provide the result you want, consider all those examples with different situations you provide before. So if we're talking about, I don't know, customer support bot, you could provide dozens of dialogues, of completed dialogues with your support. And then you could use those dialogues like few shots prompting, and you could ask GPT to use those few shots, those dialogues as references for your next prompt. So let's use it, because last time I used it for marketing report or for something, or for marketing, we'll go to market strategy. I just provide a couple samples and it worked really cool.
Love it. And let's, since we are, I think, out of time, let's just run through those additional slides. So, Max, these are the helpful links, right, that you want to share?
Yeah. I had two main reports which changed the way I was thinking about GenAI and trends about in GenAI, and basic guide by OpenAI.
Okay,
On the next step, we highly recommend you to try GenAI in Reply, or if you have any need in cold outreach. So just give it a chance and stay in touch. We got our links, so add us and social media. And I want to recall that if you want more details about some prompts, just add me on LinkedIn and ask me what part could be useful for you, and I'll try to do my best to provide you details. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, everyone. We hope that was super helpful workshop, and you were inspired just to give another try to generative AI tools. Thank you so much for your attention. We were so happy to have you all today.